Hello, welcome to Primer and Co's Terminology Tuesday, where we cover some of the simpler terminology in firearms that new shooters can get confused with. If you're a more experienced shooter, this may already be knowledge to you, or maybe you'll learn something new. Today we're going to talk about ammo. So you'll hear people throw out the terms like bullet and cartridge, and what they're talking about is the ammunition that we shoot and the different parts of it. So this completed case, now in this case it's a 9mm, this whole assembly is a cartridge. That cartridge is made up of a couple different pieces. So the projectile itself, which we call the bullet, you have the brass casing, or in some cases steel or aluminum, and you have a primer, and what would be inside the casing would be a smokeless powder. Most modern guns use smokeless powder. Black powder would be older guns that typically are muzzle loaded. And so the way this works is the primer is in this back hole of this casing. There's a little, like a harder compound in there, and there's a little metal disc that sits in there called the anvil. When your firing pin hits the bottom of that, it smushes that between the anvil and the bottom of your primer and creates a small little bit of spark. That spark will then go through this hole in the case in the bottom. That's called your flash hole. It's not coming in real clear, but you can kind of see that down there. That spark goes through there and will ignite your powder. That powder then burns really, really quickly. This all happens, near instantaneously. And that burns. It doesn't explode. It actually burns really, really quickly and builds up pressure inside that case. Once that builds up enough pressure, it'll actually push the projectile through the barrel of your gun and out. With all this, this is the only thing that goes through the barrel of your gun. And the rest of this will stay inside the chamber until the action either is open manually or in the semi-auto or full auto is ejected out. So the important thing to remember here is this all together is the cartridge. You've got bullet, casing, primer, powder. So spark, this burns, builds up pressure in here, launches that through your barrel. So if you hear people say like, oh, I got some 9mm bullets, well, they would actually just be talking about that, but you may hear them refer to this whole thing as a bullet, even though it's a cartridge. That can get confusing for people because they're using terminology kind of incorrectly, but that's just kind of how some people call it. So I hope that answers your questions. If not, feel free to comment below, email, private message. We'd love to help clear up your confusion. This is a pistol round. Rifle rounds work the same way. Shotgun rounds are very similar. They actually have a hull, plastic hull or paper hull instead of the metal casing, but it's generally all the same. So hope that helps, and have a great day.